All right, today we are diving deep, and I mean really deep, into one of evolution's all-time greatest hits. You know, we think of sharks as these big, scary predators, but that's just scratching the surface. There's so much more. They're basically living fossils, ultimate survivors. They're the result of an ancient blueprint for success that has let them rule the oceans for almost 500 million years. 450 million years. Just let that number sink in for a second. To give you some perspective, sharks were swimming around in the oceans before trees even figured out how to grow on land. They were here 200 million years before the dinosaurs showed up, and they've now outlasted them by a good 65 million. When you look at the entire timeline of life on Earth, we humans are just a tiny, tiny blip. Sharks? They're practically the whole show. So that leads to the big question, right? How did they do it? How has this one type of predator managed to get through millions and millions of years of crazy changes, fierce competition, and, catastrophic events that wiped out almost everything else? Well, the answer isn't just one thing. It's a whole series of absolutely brilliant evolutionary tricks. Okay, so our first clue to their success is in their very bones, or actually their lack of bones. See, unlike us and pretty much every other vertebrate out there, sharks are built on a framework of cartilage, not bone. And this one seemingly simple difference, it gives them a massive, massive edge. And you can really see that edge when you put them side by side. A bony skeleton is strong, sure, but it is heavy. It costs a ton of energy to lug around, kind of like a big, sturdy truck chassis. But a cartilage skeleton, that's like the lightweight frame of a Formula One race car. It's incredibly flexible, super energy efficient, and it's built for that explosive speed and agility that makes sharks such amazing hunters. But hey, a fast car is nothing without a powerful engine and some serious weaponry, right? Well, the ancient oceans were a brutal place. We're talking about a constant evolutionary arms race. And this is where the shark really started to hone its craft and perfect its offensive toolkit. And the absolute crown jewel of that toolkit has to be this incredible piece of biological engineering, the revolver jaw. It's not just about having sharp teeth. It's about having a literally endless supply of them. It works like a conveyor belt of daggers, with new teeth constantly moving up from inside the jaw to replace any that get old, worn down, or even broken off. It means a shark's bite is always at 100%. And this perfect weapon didn't just pop up overnight, no way. This thing was forged over hundreds of millions of years. It started with the very first primitive jaws, which completely changed the game of hunting. Then came the evolution of teeth that could actually be replaced. And finally, the perfection of that incredible conveyor belt system we see in modern sharks. Get this, a single shark can go through as many as 50,000 teeth in its lifetime. That is just a staggering number. It's this amazing feat of engineering that makes sure their most important weapon never, ever goes dull. So we've got speed, we've got the bite, but to stay at the top of the food chain for 450 million years, you're going to need more. You need to be able to sense the world in ways your prey can't even imagine. Basically, you need sensory superpowers. And sharks don't just have 5 senses like us. They have this whole array of senses all working together. Their lateral line lets them feel the tiniest movements in the water all around their body. Their sense of smell is, of course, legendary. Their eyesight is perfectly tuned for hunting in dark or murky water. But their real trump card? Well, that's something else entirely. I love this quote because it perfectly captures their most amazing sense. On their snouts, they have these little jelly-filled pores called the ampullae of Lorenzini, and through these, they can detect the super faint electrical fields that all living things give off. Think about that. A fish could be hiding under the sand, totally invisible, but its own heartbeat gives it away. Sharks don't just hunt what they can see, they hunt what is alive. So when you really put it all together, the next time you see a shark, you're not just looking at an animal, you're looking at a living legacy. You're witnessing the incredible result of 450 million years of non-stop refinement, adaptation, and pure survival. It really all boils down to this simple recipe for an apex survivor. Step 1, you start with that super efficient, lightweight chassis made of cartilage. Step 2, you add the ultimate self-repairing weapon, the revolver jaw. And step 3, you plug in this complex sensory matrix that lets them find prey in literally any condition. And what do you get? You get one of the most successful and long-lasting predators this planet has ever seen. 5. That's the number. That is how many mass extinction events sharks have lived through. They survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. They survived events that wiped out more than 90% of all life in the oceans. Their evolutionary blueprint is just so good, so incredibly resilient, that it has carried them through catastrophes that literally reshaped the entire planet. And that leaves us with one last really powerful thought. After surviving for 450 million years, after making it through 5 global cataclysms that brought almost everything else to its knees, what could possibly be their biggest challenge today? It's a heavy question, one that connects their incredibly deep past to a very, very uncertain future.